how much credit do you give to Phil Jackson? Is he really the greatest coach of all time?
What were some of your best moments reflecting on your entire NBA career? Like,
I think some of my best moments when I would hold people to 2 points and 0 points, and 3 points. I mean, it was really difficult to do it. And people don't really get it because they don't show that a lot. They'll show like a Michael Jordan come fly with me video.
Right. Yeah.
Or LeBron James dunks on Jason Terry.
Yeah.
But they don't really show like when somebody wouldn't score. Like, how does that look?
Right.
How does it look when you have 2 points or 4 points? Like, I want to see how that looks produced.
Right. You're right about that.
Some of my favorite moments when I would just like walk on the floor and if you LeBron James, but he has a great shot. He's amazing. But some players, you're not going to do nothing tonight, and you know it.
and that's the beauty of it. Like, people all want to see the spectacular dunks, the crazy threes, but how do we express the little details in the game where that's beauty too? There's beauty in getting down and locking somebody up. There's beauty in that. But how do you do that though? How do you show that and how do you bring that to life? I'm interested to know that too, because I mean, you can see in the boxing, the defense, and that's still beautiful too. And people still want to see that, but how do you bring that on the court and show like, damn, that was crazy. Like, he locked a great player up. But how do you bring that to life? And how would you think that though?
I mean, I've been trying to work on something like that for a long time. Because even when I did my documentary, like, they told me that it was going to be about my basketball game. So I'm like, if it's going to be about my game, let me show you the clips to get that I remember to clear as day.
Oh, wow.
But then it turned into a mental health doc, so which was still cool, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But now when you talk about defense, I would just like, you could do it a couple ways. If you did it like in 30 minutes, you could just, maybe interview the player that you was playing against and just show the stats.
Right.
And then just show his average and be like, yo, he
you know what would be cool too? Like having an animation of kind of what you're describing. Like somebody locking up and then the other player that's trying to score is sweating because they can't get that shot off, or just some little things that could show it in a more artistic way. Like the other player you're locking up, his heart's beating fast because he can't move the certain way. He can't get the shot off because you're putting that mental pressure on him. There's probably like a deeper way you could do it. And I think it's actually a beautiful thing. Like when you're able to lock down a great player because you're causing some type of stress on them and you're locking them up. That's to me, that's dope. Like, I want to lock up everybody too.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like, because sometimes if I'm talking about locking somebody up, that could be personal because that's like saying you can't beat me in a fight.
Exactly.
So I'm not trying to give off that energy. I'm just saying, like, I'm so happy I worked on this. Like, I was in the gym and doing my slides before I pick up a ball. And to see it translate, the only way I can show it is if I mention people that I locked up. I'm not trying to like disrespect anybody. Yeah. But I'm just saying I'm really happy with how, I'm really happy that I was able to do that.
Yeah. And I think anybody that takes offense of it doesn't love the game. If you don't love the game and every aspect of it, then now you're just kind of hating. Like, it's not about me saying I lock you up, I'm better than you. It's about, hey, this is just part of the game. Hey, when you score on me, am I crying about it? No. When I locked you up, you shouldn't cry about it either, though. You know what I mean? Hey, if you don't want to play if you don't love the game, if you don't love both parts of the game, then you got a problem there.
Hey, you locked up a lot of shots, but you also had, you said that was your favorite part, was being able to do that, but you had some great shots, unfortunately for me, against the Celtics. Because I'm from Boston. So
okay.
But what was your time like with the Lakers? What was that like being a teammate with Kobe? What was that like?
I mean, it was amazing, man. R.I.P. my brother Kobe, man. It was just it was magical. That's why when he passed away, I still don't believe it to this day. I mean, we know it happened, but it's just hard to believe that he's not here. Really, really difficult, but it was magical. Just imagine being on the court and that you gotta, it's like you're gonna throw an uppercut and the same uppercut is gonna work every time. 10 uppercut knockouts. And the fans is waiting for it, and boom, another one, and boom, another. They knocked out 10 people with the same uppercut.
And there's nothing you could do about it.
Nothing you could do about it. And just watching Kobe's like, he had 25 straight points in Game 5 in Boston. All of our points. Nobody scored on our team from the third to the fourth. And I remember watching it in the finals and like, snap out of it. You got to play, snap out of it. Can we be in the game? We're just watching them, right?
I remember watching that too.
Man, it's beautiful though. I think Kobe, I would always watch him too. I loved his, obviously, Mamba mentality. And I just kind of had that in my heart as a kid as well. So I was able to relate to that because I always wanted to win and I always wanted to get better. And I would do the little details, things that nobody would want to do. My dad would say the same, like, you don't got to tell Ryan to run. He's already running. So it's like, nobody had to tell me to do anything. And then when he said in the documentary about, I think it was his documentary where a player told him like, hey, don't look Michael Jordan in the eye. And he said, what? I'm that person too. You ain't going to look at me in the eye. That's how I am. Like, man, don't say that. I'm not like a Canelo, man. I'm just like that. I'm like a Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm like a Muhammad Ali. That's who I want to be. And that's who I am. So don't tell me I'm not that because I'll prove it to you I am that. So that's kind of like a thing that I got from Kobe where it was like, man, I was able to relate because I was like, he wants it. He loves it. And he wants to be the best. And you could challenge it. Yeah. He's not saying you can't challenge it, but you better be ready because he's going to be shooting baskets at 4 o'clock in the morning. Get into it, right? Was he really like that? Like when you would watch him in practice, like was he really about that? Like
he in the gym.
Yeah.
You go in the gym at 5:30, you're gonna see Kobe. You're gonna see Kobe.
Man.
Because I used to go, I was a workaholic, but I would do things like go to the gym 4 times a day.
Right.
And I wouldn't go that early. But I would go like 3 a.m. Like you know. I go after the club. I'll be hammered. Yeah. I go right to the gym, sweat all the alcohol out.
Hey, that's great though.
Oh, we're good.
Man, that's awesome, man. And then your guys' run in that championship with Paul Gasol and all that. How much credit do you give to Phil Jackson? Is he really the greatest coach of all time? I've always wanted to ask that too because I always had a sense of comfort with Phil Jackson on a squad. I just did. I just kind of like Bill Belichick with Tom Brady. I kind of just had that sense of comfort. Like they'll get it together no matter what. Is that kind of what you felt with Phil Jackson? Like how was your guys' relationship? How was that?
I was really grateful for Phil. I called Phil. I was 29. I was getting into meditation. And he's a Zen master, so that was beautiful. I think he's top. He's Zen master, right? So I was like. Then I changed my name to Metta. I was getting into Buddhism. Metta is a Buddhist name.
All right.
And I think he is top 2, 3 coaches, of all time.